Like, you know, Max, you can have that great body, but you're still in Fat Club anyway, so.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, we're getting all the gossip, Max. You
Oh,
don't
mate, this
know.
is good. I'm surprised. I'm getting absolutely hammered here. But, yeah.
A few people have said that about you, that you're always late. I didn't think you'd be like that, Max. But yeah, he's a nightmare, mate. He's always late for everything.
No, he's a nightmare by missing reps as well in the what bike. Tell them about
Why
that.
are you lying for? Why are you lying for, Nate? Why are you lying for?
We're lying for.
We get 10 reps and Max does 9.
Hey, this is false information. This is
Are you going to
defamation.
rep now then, Max?
Oh, mate, the heating's on.
Hello and welcome to the RugbyPass Offload pod with me, Ryan and Max. And later on the show, we'll be joined by England and Bath back rower Nathan Hughes. First things first, how's everyone's week been, boys?
Oh, I've had better weekends, I'll be honest. I've had better weekends. Max, yours looks unbelievable.
Why, what happened to you?
We lost.
Oh, yeah. Well, so did we, but I was obviously feet up.
And also, it was Mother's Day. And I swear to God, the hardest day of the year for me, 4 kids, it's just like a day of grafting. I mean, we played on the Saturday, travelled there in the morning, played, travelled straight back, didn't get in till late-ish. Straight up in the morning, like, do you know what I mean? On full graft all day Sunday, like washing the kids and feeding them. And, oh, boys, it was hard work. Making breakfast.
One day of the year.
I had to send Jackson up. I said, mate, where does the granola live? Because I didn't know. I thought breakfast and bed, try and make something nice. So he went upstairs and said, Mum, if we had some granola and you wanted some, where roughly would it be? She's just like, for fuck's sake. Also, listen, people talking shit about our pitch at Scotstoun. Mate, we played in Cardiff. Look at these knees.
Oh, yeah. That Cardiff Arms Park place is legit.
Oh my burns.
Yeah.
It was because it was like a summer's day down there as well, which is gone now, but
right.
The
Crispy.
burns.
Yeah. Weaponized blades of grass, mate, down there. But before, you needed a canoe to get around the place. So good with the bad. I remember playing there when it was the pitch, mate, straight up fan boating around the place, trying to get from the 22 to the other side.
Yeah, so yeah, better weekends. You did you go to the game in Tottenham, Max?
No, I didn't go, but
what?
It was like only essential personnel were taken, obviously. I'm really
wasn't enough seats.
Yeah, I'm literally only good on the field. I'm not one of those guys who's like pushing the technical nous of the team, the rugby IQ off field. I do my best though, but yeah. It looked amazing, didn't it? How good did that place look?
I thought that would have been a team day out.
No, it wasn't that. But it was a very cool looking. Oh mate, what a place! What a coliseum! Unbelievable stadium. And they filled it pretty well.
None of the boys, like injured boys and guys that think, oh, should we organise a bus to go along and watch? Because like that's a pretty cool spectacle going there and playing there.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't pining for it. Yeah, maybe I should have done
weekend off.
Yeah, I just enjoyed it. Where'd I go? Went to a sneakerhead like conference in Bristol. That was interesting. Mate, the shoe market, the shoe exchange market for those for Nikes and stuff is hilarious. People are making masses of cash doing that.
Well,
bananas, mate.
I'll tell you what to do. Attach them to NFTs.
Yeah, I really enjoyed your NFT conspiracy group. I was reading the comments.
My dead fella.
Yeah. Welcome to Dead Fellas at Right. I was just like, this is so obnoxious. Look at all of you trying to drive it up.
Welcome to the Horde.
Yeah. Welcome to the Horde. I was just like, my God.
Oh, no.
It's a bubble. It's a bubble.
Well, whilst we're at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium mentally, it was a very exciting game. What were your thoughts on it, Max? Heartbreaking, I thought, the ending. I mean, Joe Joyce.
Oh, the people's champ, the king of the mead. I was so gutted for him. It's like the last person you want to see fail, something like that. It's like such a good man. Bristol born and raised. game-winning moment. Oh, I was so gutted for him.
Well, what happened? I didn't watch it.
Oh, so bro, it's like 78 minutes on the clock. There's like one try. We've done a lovely shift of the ball down the edge. Joe Joyce has just done all the things. He's turned the turbos on. He's taken on the last defender, and he's thrown it forward, big rig, for their winning try.
No.
Yeah, mate.
And like a quite an easy pass to put.
Yeah, it could have been, but he's done some work there. Like for a lock forward, he was looking Brody Retallick-esque. Do you know what I mean? One of those kind of plays. Just pure codes.
A simple bit of execution and
yeah, but he's like double pumped it, really sold it. Like he's committed that defender, boots and all, and he's shifted it forward. Gutting as well because Sarri's had the full Galacticos out, and I thought we were the better team, but it was a great game of rugby. To be fair, like both teams were very good.
Have you heard what was the vibe in the dressing room afterwards? For particularly, how was Joe?
Oh yeah, he was about to commit like honorable suicide, samurai style. Just, but I think the boys just got round him in that situation and just buoyed him back up. To be fair,
who got the home dressing room?
Sarri's got the home dressing room. Oh, of course. It was their event. To be fair,
I'm guessing that the away one wasn't that bad though.
No, it was all razzle dazzle, mate. It's all bells and whistle down there. Football's a different sport.
What's that Tottenham the show on? Was it Netflix or something like that?
Oh,
All or Nothing.
All or Nothing.
Yeah, they show that in there, don't they?
Oh, ritzy. Yeah,
it's
got like
see the speeches, see like the captain's speech from Harry Kane and people like that. He's just like, really?
Yeah, but Harry Kane's not known.
Cool, guys, let's do it.
Yeah, but he's not known for being the most emotive bloke, is he?
Easy, Chelsea. Stop using your platform.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It just, from what you get in rugby, I thought you get, but I suppose it's more gladiatorial, isn't it, rugby? But anyway, yeah, it's nice to know what the changing rooms are like. That's all. I find it quite interesting. Like we played at Parkhead, and like that's old school in the final, and you know what I mean, going in the changing room there and stuff. And like I said before, sitting in Francesco Totti's seat when we played in Rome against Italy for Scotland. I love little things like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just a nice touch, isn't it?
Lovely. You notice I'm trying to do anything to talk about anything else other than my game.
Beat around the bush.
All right, let's quickly, Rye. I know it was very, very disappointing weekend for you. You 13-point lead at Cardiff, eventually losing 32-28. What went wrong?
More importantly, you know what hurts more is we're third in the league and we're like right up there and we're pushing and we're pushing and we're pushing, and you go down there and you're that far ahead and then the wheels fall off a bit. I don't know what happened. Listen, we made a few mistakes towards the end and they got in it. 3 unanswered tries and then they pulled it back. But that's Cardiff. Believe it or not, they've only lost 1 game down there, and it was a similar score. It was like 26-24 against Leinster. Not saying that's anything to do with it, but not great. Not great.
Ryan, I actually really hate to do this, but technically speaking, you went off when the guys were 28-15 up. I mean, is any correlation there?
He's done his homework, hasn't he, Max?
I hate it.
He's done his homework there. It's true, but that can't be the key denominator there, can it?
No points scored whilst you're off the field, and yet loads conceded.
That's not what happened. But I like what you're trying to say.
Let's quickly with you, Max. A word on Owen Farrell coming back, Ryan's best mate, after months out injured, kicking 12 points for Saracens. What did you make of his performance?
Yeah, mate, he was solid, wasn't he? He had a few nice. He was taking it to the line well. His connection with the forwards looked silky smooth. He hasn't looked like he's been away long, to be fair to him. So I saw someone was saying he looks a bit bigger coming out of rehab, but I thought he looked svelte. He won't be running down his channel anytime soon either. But yeah, I thought he played well. I think he'd be straight back into the England setup for sure.
He was lucky, though. I think he was lucky.
He was lucky. He was lucky. Agreed.
He was very lucky, Mark, wasn't he?
I have no opinion. Can you describe why you thought he was lucky, right?
Because that was proper rugby league, sticking shoulder into face. It was right on the cusp. Eh?
Yeah.
Looking back at you, like, oh, I think the refs.
Yeah,
This is going to be big. This is going to be big news if I do the right thing here. And yeah, I don't know. It's very close. Like absolutely no arm wrap. I think that, like the description of the ref was something like no major contact, but he's not even tried to wrap an arm, and that shoulder's worryingly close to the face, upright, everything wrong with it that you think is wrong with it. So I think he's a lucky boy to get away with that one. To be fair, I think he's very lucky. And listen, you've heard me before, Max. I'm all for a bit of bashing boys about and that.
You're a purist. I agree. And that time, yeah, it was a bit, mate. Yeah, it was yellow. What's my favorite color? Yellow there.
Amber.
Amber card.
And that wouldn't even stood in the amber section because he's thrown in rugby league shoulder.
Yeah, but it comes up a lot, guys, that his tackling technique, most of the pundits agreed that there should have been a card. Is it more detrimental, his approach to tackling to England's chances going forward than perhaps the talent that he can bring? Because we talk about this a lot.
I don't know how many games has he played. He's played must be well over 300 games of rugby, and he's got how many yellows? Probably nine yellow cards. Sorry,
someone's got the homework done.
I've done a little bit of homework. So, and at international level, he's never been yellowed for a dangerous tackle. So I think it's context, isn't it? It's like Owen Farrell's the guy you love to hate, I think, in rugby. Like he's one of those guys that the pundits love getting after.
I don't. I just love him.
Do you actually?
Great bloke.
So intense.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I don't actually know at all.
Yeah,
never had a chat with him.
Same. So I've got nothing bad to say. It's just I love how it is. The emotional intensity on field with him is mad, though. Like he's given off a mad aura of just like must win at all costs, at all times, everything.
But do you agree? It's not the first time we've talked about. There's been those controversial decisions. There was that one against South Africa a couple of years ago that would have obviously swung the game back towards South Africa. So, do we think there's something inherently wrong with his tackling technique?
I think so many times he's absolutely laid people out legally. So it sort of comes with the territory when you're a bloke who loves throwing it about like he does. He's also up against, in terms of physical mismatches, he's also taken sort of the best ball carriers on the field that are coming down his channel. So he's finding ways to throw himself about with full intensity. But again, I think it's because it's Owen Farrell. There's a lot more.
I don't know. I think with the way that the laws are going, the way that people are seeing tackling, and they want people to drop their tackle, I think he's going to have an issue if he keeps going that way. I think if I was coming up against him, I'd be running straight towards him and saying, try and carry low, try and get low.
Oh, because he'll go high. Okay,
go high, and then there's more chance. Do you know what I mean? Don't carry up right against him. So I don't know. I think it might catch up with him because you've seen how over the last year
how it's changed. Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Talking about tackle height and what they want to try and do with tackle, his doesn't seem to change at all. And yeah, fair enough, he's got away with it up until now. But I don't know how much longer he will get away with it if he keeps going. I'll be honest, I don't sit and watch him tackling that much, but like you said, it's all these high ones that I think they were right on the limit, right on the line.
Ryan, that's a really interesting point, though. Do you think that there'll come a point now where professional rugby players will start to look for those types of tackling players because to give themselves an advantage? In football, somebody's been booked, you try and get him to foul you again to get them sent off. You said I just go low and hope that he concuss me or smashes me in the face. I mean, I know it's a really dodgy line, but is there ever a time that could come into play?
There's all sorts of tactics, isn't there? And I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, are there? I'm never thinking like, Mark, I can honestly say I've never thought like.
But it's like jacklers. It's like jacklers, right? What do they say when you've got the best jacklers in a team? They're like, run at them so they have to tackle you. Don't run to the side of them because someone else will chop and the jackler gets on ball, you know?
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
I'm thinking tactics like that. You're told in when you like at the weekend, you're coming up against like Navidi and the chat is right, try and run straight for him. So he has to make the tackle rather than being able to jackal. With Owen Farrell, you think he's going to bang me. So I'm just going to run straight. Just drop your height last minute. Boom. Oh. And I'm not saying you should milk it, but yeah, it might get that way. But I think to stop all this, I think they're going to have to bring the tackle height down like under the shoulder or something, which...
Yeah, that's where it has to go if they want to stop all of these high tackles. Absolutely. But then it becomes really difficult when people are, when you do those type of carries where you're just like, tuck the ball, head down.
Yeah. Or you're playing against someone like Matthew Morgan, who I swear he must be 4'2", and he's jinking around, and you've got a Will Rowlands who's 7'9", trying to grab hold of him. Of course you're going to hit him in the head because he's down by your hips. So that's the only other issue. What do you do there?
Yeah, that's the
big men can't chop.
The inclusiveness of all these different athletes, absolutely, yeah. But like, I guess
biography there. Sorry, right. big men can't chop. Sorry, go on, Max.
That's actually good. That's not a bad name for his tales, his memoirs.
Can chop. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard. I don't know how to fix it. We're not.
So you're saying, but essentially the question was, is Owen Farrell a liability to England going forward because of his tackling?
I think it could become a problem.
Okay.
But you don't think it is.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't really take into account the new rules and he's been out for so long, but he's definitely been luckier than most. Maybe that's part of being Owen Farrell. He gets away with a bit more than other people. I'm not sure. Because
you've seen ones that are worse than what he did at the weekend, haven't you? And you've seen people get red cards for him. So
this is true. So we maybe there is some truth to that statement. Maybe he could be a liability in the D line, but I think I do like the way he throws himself around a D. It is class. Watching a 10, like when the biggest, baddest ball carriers are coming down there and you just back in your tent to just hold the line like that. But yeah, potentially he just needs to drop the height a bit.
Staying with the Plasmaster General, you don't think that he looked any sort of bulkier, although a lot of people did think he henched up quite hard. With that in mind, who's the worst teammate you've ever seen come back from a long injury and completely sort of change their body shape, either for the better or for the worse?
There's so many.
Yeah, there's a lot of Islanders. The Fijians, Samoans, Tongans are always terrible at it, aren't they?
Yeah, they go hard when they go home. They enjoy the feeds.
Yeah,
and they just balloon mad, but they just get in shape so quickly, so it's fine. Nathan Hughes, actually, classic one. He can change weight. I've never seen anything like it, pal. It is also the perspiration the man gives off. It is a madness. I've never seen anything like it. But he's a classic one. Steph Armitage, he would come back in all sorts of shapes. He's like a geometry class. Unbelievable scenes. Who else? The Denver. So the England camp before the 2015 World Cup was in Denver, and they were training at high altitude. So at the time, I can't remember when it was like Dave Wilson, big fella, big old boy, big tight head, and Dave Atwood went to this camp, and they said it was the hardest camp they've ever done. Altitude, training, everything, like savage camp before the World Cup. They got absolutely blitzed, mate. They came back. I'd never seen anything like it. They were like skeletons. They must have both lost like 10 kilos. It was unbelievable. They were unrecognizable. It was like they had been cast away on an island somewhere. That was freaky. I was like, lads, You need to get that all back on right now.
I'm trying to get a photo up of one of the guys that used to play at Glasgow. Absolute legend of a man. Mike Cusack, his name was. You probably won't know who he is, but Mike Cusack, Matt Cusack from Yorkshire. And see who it looks like there.
Yeah, big old boy.
Matt Cusack, oh my Nick, when he came back once from injury, only like it was bad. It was bad. Man nearly heart attack. Loveliest bloke on earth, absolute legend of a man. But he came back in shocking nick. Also, Bob Harley, like the ultimate professional at Glasgow, the ultimate professional, 260 games for Glasgow. But he takes things in the literal sense. So they said, boys, we want you to take 4 weeks off and do absolutely nothing. And so he took it in the literal sense that he didn't do a single thing and came back after 4 weeks. And we ran a Bronco, and it was the worst we've ever seen. And he's a fit man.
7.
Oh, and he was in hideous nick as well. So here he is.
So, boys,
how are
Sambula
you?
Vanaka Tavingo.
Mbula. All I heard was Bronco. That's me and Max's favorite thing to do.
Yeah, we're at the back, me and Big Nate.
Looking for the gas.
Oh.
Absolutely.
I remember the first time me and you did it together in Clifton. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we were slow. We were very slow.
What about the fear before it? Like I don't think there's a worse feeling, boys. I don't think there's a worse feeling than that morning of going, like even the night before, going to bed, you just know it's coming, getting up in the morning.
Yeah.
It's here.
I've got the pass now. I don't have to do it. So
Yeah. Mate, Clem, I think they've changed the S&C boy there, but yeah, they
no, I mean, at Bristol,
you don't need to now,
Why? Why don't you need to do it?
One running session a day. Guilty.
Yeah, injury management.
Is that right?
The over 30s group.
Same here, mate. Soft tissue injuries of the calves now. I'm out. I'm retiring from the Bronco.
Been absolutely done, boys. 32.
No, but I remember when we did that, Nate, Pat was like, is that your first time doing a Bronco? I was like, no.
The worst ones, though, the boys that know they're getting a shit time, so they miss a jump or something, and I messed it up. I wasn't thinking. They're like, you wankers. Like, you knew exactly what you're up to. Just run straight past the 20 to the 40.
Yeah.
Nathan Hughes is in the house. Great to have you on the show. How are things?
Good, thank you. Thank you for having me on. It's good. It's been good. Been playing some rugby again and enjoying playing again. So, like I said to Max, I think it was 2 months ago, you can't park the Ferrari in the garage.
The big man speaks facts. And then first game for Bath. Man of the match. How's he going, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, Nate, let's start with your game at the weekend. Kind of crazy game of two halves, if you will. 24-all draw with Sale. A couple of disallowed tries as well. Talk us through what happened.
Yeah, no, it was a game of two halves, like you said. We came out firing. I got yellow card 5 minutes into the game, standard. But no, it was a good first half from our boys, and then second half, Sale's a quality outfit team, and then they just brought the physicality. Some calls that they did in the neck roll to Sam Underhill and still gave the try. A couple of our tries got disallowed and stuff. The quick taps where you can take it 5 meters behind the 5 meter mark, and then he basically called me back and said, "No, you didn't take it on the mark." Where he gave the mark was exactly where I took it, and I was just like, "Well, this is pointless." So, yeah, but it was a tough physical game. We were happy to come away with a draw. Happy that Fluff missed the last kick at the end there, but we'll take the 2 points. Moving on to Exeter this week. So,
Danny Cipriani levelled late on. Again, saving the day for you guys. You played with him at Wasps and now at Bath. How has he changed over the years?
Oh, Danny's still Danny. You know, he's. I think the only thing that's changed is his pace. You know, as the age goes on, you get a bit slower. But no, the knowledge of the game that he has is, you know, is where you can see Bath progressing now towards the back end of the season. And you know, it's good to have him there leading, you know, all the young boys and stuff like that, because he's been in the Premiership for, you know, 10 plus years, and he's won championships as well. So
biggest thing surely that he's got a missus now though, so he's not playing up.
He's calmed down so much, yeah, which is quite good.
No,
at the same time, it's good to see a smile on his face as well. You know, he comes into the club and stuff like that, and he's, you know, smiling, and he's always you know, adding the attack. He runs the attack as well, so which is quite good.
Did you ever go out with him when, you know, when he was back in party animal phase, if you will? Because we heard a few stories about that time.
I don't go out. I don't drink.
Oh,
what are you laughing for, Max?
I've seen you at the end of bars in the wee hours of the morning. Me and you were clinging on for dear life.
Oh,
last
God.
man standing, big rig.
I didn't basically go out with him, you know, back in his party days and stuff like that. He's too posh for us boys. So we usually sitting next to the grog carver bowl and, you know, drinking carver.
Oh, very good.
You were obviously frustrated by the lack of game time at Bristol this season. Talk us through how the move to Bath came about.
I think, you know, you say frustrated, you know, at the time I was, but then, you know, I just got over it. And, you know, I've been in the Premiership a long time to see, and, you know, you see players and stuff like that as you come along, and, you know, you just got to get on with it, because, you know, at that time, a young kid, you know, Fitzharden, he got given the opportunity and he took it with, you know, two hands, and, you know, he's still playing now, and he's playing really well and stuff like that. And fair play to the kid, you know, he's played a lot of games and been outstanding for them this season. And I think we had a week off coming, like a bye week. And then I asked, because a couple of the boys were going to play for Hartbury, and I asked Pat if I could join Mitch Eady and James Dunn. And then he was just like, oh, okay, because we had the week off after that. And then played on the Friday night. And then Hats gives me a call asking if I wanted to come to Bath, you know, to play. And I said, you know, this is just another opportunity to go play rugby and stuff. You know, they had a lot of injuries when they played Leinster. They had like 3 head knocks that game. And so they were, you know, they needed back rows and stuff. So that all happened, and been there 2 months now. And I think, you know, a couple more weeks. So now it's basically week on week, you know, if they need me or not. So, but no, I'm enjoying it, enjoying the, you know, the environment. Max would probably say, you know, the facilities is quite good there. The shifts pretty good, keeps me going there. So
You and Big Mike must be besties, pal.
Yeah, you know, Mikey, any of those?
Any extras? You got
Yeah.
another lamb saddle back there?
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
One for everyone else, 2 for Nathan.
Yeah, 2 for Nate. 2 for Nate.
Nathan, you're still living at home, I'm guessing. Like,
yeah, I'm living in Bristol, and then just traveling. I think it's like a 45-minute, 50-minute journey, so not too bad.
Wait, Nate, talk me through these wooden weapons behind you on the wall. What's the top one?
So the top one is a pedal. So basically, they just cut the middle and like made it as a design. And then
so this is just art, yeah.
Yeah. And
okay, got you.
And then the one below is a war club. So, you know, we didn't have weapons and stuff like that. So that was basically the weapon. So if you see this bit here,
yeah,
back in the day, that's where they put your neck there and they just twist it.
Oh my God.
We've got one of them in Glasgow.
And then this is the top bit there is where they hit the top of your head.
My God.
That there is a backbreaker. So
what do you call is it got a name?
Yes, we call it a wow.
A wow. Oh jeez. How good.
Yeah, Sammy's got like one where it's round like a coconut shell, and then I've got a sharp pointy bit. So that sharp pointy bit
just goes through your skull. Oh my Lord. How good. Some nice decoration out. That's amazing.
The old Wasps jerseys there, the 100 game for Wasps, and then the one over here was Wasps against Exeter in the.
Delightful.
Yeah.
What's been the main difference for you, Nate, between Bath and Bristol on and off the pitch?
On and off the pitch, well, we finished a bit earlier, less meetings. Max will tell you the meetings at Bristol is quite long and a lot of detail and stuff like that. But you know the way Bristol play, and you know you have to have those kind of meetings to have all those details. Like I think till today, me and Max, we still don't know the full call list.
We know what we need to know. That's what's important, Nathan.
Yeah. Max,
yeah.
did you know that? Yeah.
Yes, mouse. Yeah, nah.
Yeah. No, but then, you know, like a lot of people ask me that, you know, what's the big difference and stuff. But like I always say, like, there's nothing different, because like when you go to, you know, the different clubs, the boys are the same. Like, you know, you have banters in the changing room, you have banters, you know, off the field, you have coffee clubs and stuff like that. I think that's what makes the whole, you know, club very welcoming. Like, you know, there's a good bunch of boys there. Like I played with a lot of boys as well in England and stuff like that. And, you know, just going in there, it wasn't really new. So it was like when I walked in, it was just like walking into the Bristol changing room, you know, the banter was just basically flying around. And I think that's how rugby is going today.
Max is always so careful of what he says about Pat. He's worried. I know he is. But how long are those meetings?
Max, what was that?
He won't say it.
How long are they? Well, we're talking like 2 hours.
What? That's mental.
Yeah, so like when we review the game, he likes to review the whole game, and like, you know,
go through the whole game there and then.
I think because, you know, the playlist and like the, you know, the map sheets and stuff is quite, you know, like when I was at Wasps, I've never seen anything like it. But then, you know, I think you have to have those meetings and have those things to play the game that they want to play. Because like, you know, when we review Bristol, like you could be like, oh, they played Exeter last week, they played this game plan. You come on the weekend, they play a totally different game plan. I think there's about 6 or 7 different game plans that like he can, you know, just say it, and then there's another one. So I think there's those why, you know, the meetings are quite long. But
what is that fucking noise?
That's nice.
Yeah, who's?
It's Max messaging the missus about his hair, like.
Yeah,
Wait, Max,
it fell out. I knew that'd get back to you. I was like,
let's talk about your hair, Max.
Yeah, I bleached it too much and it fell out. And I had to. And Alana, Nathan's better half, is a hairdresser, and she's just the absolute wizard of Oz when it comes to hair. And I was like, have I lost all my hair? So you see this spot here? It was scorched earth. I'd absolutely dusted
it out.
You see where the hairline is? You know, yeah, the peroxide just ate it for breakfast. And I was like, Alana. I was the only person I could think of on my phone who I could message.
Who was that fella? Who was that fella on your Insta today, Max? Who's had the full works done.
Andrew.
Oh.
He needs another go. He needs another go, doesn't he, Nate?
He's had the full works done, hasn't he? There.
Yeah, but yes. I think they've missed a bit though.
Yeah, they need to go back in there just to repopulate.
Mate, what are you working with at the moment?
Pardon?
What are you working with at the moment? What's under the hat? What colour is it at the moment?
I've got lilac at the moment, so.
Oh, ouch!
Strong.
I think this weekend I might go blue, so we'll see. Hey, for RugbyPass, blue.
It makes sense now. You've got a missus that does it. I was just thinking, fuck, how does he go there? Yeah. So much.
Oh, mate, I wouldn't be doing it myself. Jesus Christ.
Like Max burning his hair out.
I was like, I've got it down now, lads. I have it down. Absolutely destroyed there.
Yeah, that's dangerous. That's dangerous.
Early onset baldness. Nathan, just a quick one. A lot of speculation around Pat Lam actually trying to recall you early. You on the phone to him a lot?
No, actually not. I think the last time I spoke to him was before they played. Who did you play, Max? And then Stevie, yourself, all got injured in that game.
Wasps.
Yeah, that Wasps game. It was before that, and it was just basically talking about like, you know, if any injuries, we'll call you back. But like, nothing's been, you know, said or anything like that. But yeah, I think I just, you know, all I'm doing is just basically leaving it and just let the rugby talk and just keep playing, you know, as much rugby I can.
Has your relationship soured at all, though, when you weren't being picked at the start of the season?
No, like a lot of people have asked that and stuff like that, but I, you know, nothing like that was actually, you know, there was no sourness in there and stuff like that. It was just basically, you know, I had an off game against Wasps, the second game in the season, and you know, he said, "Oh, I'll give the opportunity to this young kid," and you know, Fitzharding, and you know, in fairness to him, he played well, and you know, I said to Pat, you know, why, you know, I know I've lost a spot, like just keep playing the young kid, and you know, all I'll do is just keep training for you, and you know, if I get the opportunity, I'll do it, and you know, do the job, and you know, in your head, like every day, you just think like, you know, why do I want to do this, you know? Waking up early in the morning, Max misses all these watt bike sessions that we go to. Comes late, so, you know, it's just
and then dusts him, even though I'm late, but it's all good. Yeah,
just ticking over and stuff like that. Like you know, Max, you can have that great body, but you're still in fat club anyway. So
yeah, I know.
Oh, we're getting all the gossip, Max. You
this is good. I'm surprised. I'm getting absolutely hammered here. But yeah,
a few people have said that about you, that you're always late. I didn't think you'd be like that, Max. But yeah, he's a nightmare, mate. He's always late for everything.
No, he's a nightmare by missing reps as well in the watt bike. Tell them about that.
Why are you lying for? Why are you lying for, Nate? What are you lying for?
We're lying for.
We get 10 reps and Max does 9.
Hey, this is false information. This is defamation.
Now then, Max.
Oh mate, the heating's on.
Does Pat not hate people that are late?
Yeah, it's happened. I've had to do a few performances and stuff like that. Yeah.
And Nathan, do you run on like super time? Are you on Fiji time, or are you?
No,
Nate's pretty good actually.
I hate being late. So like,
what?
Yeah. So
Nate's good.
Like, for example, if we've got like a session in the morning, that's like, we usually go at 7:30, like for the session. When I was at Bristol, I usually turn up at like 6:30, do a sauna before we go do a watt bike.
Oh, nice.
So like, I'm always like probably an hour early every time like we start.
If we had a sauna at the club, I'd be there early, to be fair. I'd fucking 100% be there early. But
like even at Bath now, like when I'm traveling to Bath, like we would start, like our first meeting would be like 8:30. I'll be at training at like 7:30.
Oh, that's Jeez, that's not very.
So like I'm
very Fijian of you.
I hate being late. That's the thing.
Bloody hell. Well, if you're going to make a transition over to Fiji, you can be the leader of that.
Well, I don't think you can change that at any time any soon.
Sure.
Yeah, Fiji, you know, Fiji is just very laid back. Like it's Fiji time. You say 7 o'clock, they'll come at 8.
That's what I always say. Can you imagine being the manager of the Fijian national team?
Oh, you just have to go with it, I think.
Oh like the amount of times he turned up and boys don't have passports. You're like, imagine having 36 players that forget their part. Everywhere we go, somehow there's a visa issue. We're like, what? Yeah. What do you mean? Oh, bless, I haven't got my visa. What? How
and then the favorite saying is, just chill.
Yeah. Oh, my. Although saying that, like that is my my go-to job, Fijian team manager. I'm going to have to tap up Vern Cotter. I put in a good word for you, mate. Have you spoke to him?
No, I haven't spoken to him yet because it's only just, you know, my eligibility has just ended now. So, you know, like I always say, you know, there's a lot of young talent out there. You know, you see the Drua playing now as well. And like they push in like all these super rugby teams and stuff like that. And, you know, if I'd like to go to the World Cup for Fiji, but, you know, it's just, like I always said, it's just performance week in, week out, and then just letting the selection happen.
Oh, I'm so jealous you could possibly do that. That would be how
Nate,
good.
Yes.
how much are you weighing at the moment?
I'm 128.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
Hey, mate, you get fed really well at bars.
Yeah, my patch really keeping you on that calorie deficit then.
Yeah, so, and the thing is, the long drive, there's no gas stations on the way, so you can't stop. And
for the Gregs,
yeah, for Greg's, no.
M&S sandwiches.
Clash from
that.
Can you reveal to us if you're switching your allegiance to Fiji?
Yes, and that's why I was solely behind this whole change and stuff like that. And if you have different young players coming up in England and stuff like that, and it's good to see different young players coming up and stuff like that. And if we can get the opportunity to go play for our place of birth, then I'll definitely put up my hand. But at the same time, there's a lot of competition in Fiji as well, and like all these young this team in New Zealand and Australia, the Ndrua, it's amazing to see. Like, there's so many talent in Fiji. And I think the thing that surprises people is, like, Ben Ryan put it in his documentary, when he went to Fiji to go pick a sevens team for the Olympics, and he picked a sevens team and they got beaten in the local comp there. And he was just like, where do all these people come from? Like the bushes, the interior in Fiji and stuff like that. And like, the national team is actually losing to local teams, but like, there's so many talents in Fiji, but people just don't, there's no, I think, the pathway to get out of Fiji. And it's nice to see the Ndrua coming in now. And that's where the boys can come for these pathways and stuff.
It's so good to see them win, and the same with like Moana Pacifica, like to see those boys both get a win. Because I was worried, I was thinking, I hope they don't just go in there and take part in it, but seeing that they're beating teams and like keeping them,
but like beating Hurricanes, Hurricanes is like a big team.
Yeah,
in the thing, it's like, it's amazing. Like, see the emotion after the game, like
it's class.
It was just class to see.
From your, have you got like a side WhatsApp group with all the other guys who are potentially all going to be joining back in, just keeping each other updated on your decision-making process?
Yeah, like I talk to a lot of boys, like, there's like a few boys at Bristol as well. Like, you got Charles, Stevie, Rocco at Bath, and I think Billy and Marco as well. They it's all along that pathway and stuff like that. But now, we have these chats, and everyone's everyone's fully supporting that, because imagine if all these people go back and play for their home nation and stuff like that, like how good the Pacific teams will be. Like, it's scary to see Tonga's backline, like you have Lomap at 12, Malachi Fukitoa at 13, Charles, Israel Folau, like those are world-class.
It's naughty, yeah.
World-class players that played in a tier 1 nation, and for them, like, to open this pathway for them to go play back for Tonga, like, I think like the Pacific Island teams are going to push the tier 1 nations in the World Cup.
What age did you leave Fiji, Nathan?
So I left Fiji when I was 16. So I left to New Zealand on for a scholarship in Kelston Boys, a 2-year scholarship. And then, I was going to go back, but then Auckland Blues Development, they pulled me up from there. And then I was in the academy for 2 years, and then went and played ITM Cup for Auckland for 2 years. And then I wanted to play Super Rugby, but then I think one of the coaches said, like, oh, we'll give it one more year, because I only started rugby when I was 16. I used to play hockey before rugby. So it was only like 4 years of me playing rugby. So they said, oh, we'll give you one more year in the academy and the thin. And then my agent said, oh, there's opportunity at Wasps or Bath. That I like to play 8, but at the time I didn't play 8. I only played 6 and lock, and I had no clue about playing 8. And then they were like, Wasps wants an 8, Bath wants a 6/8, and I said, all right, I'll play 8. So I went back and played club rugby in for my club, and played at 8. And I think I played one game and then flew to the UK and then came to Wasps, and I think the rest is history. I never played six or locker ever again.
Yeah, it's good to get out of there, mate. It's good to get out. So when you left, had you ever left Fiji before? Like when you were 16, had you ever left to go anywhere?
I've never left Fiji before. No, so 16 was
when you're 16, man.
Yeah, so the first time to leave, you know, mum and dad behind, move out of, you know, home and go stay in like, you know, foreign people's house in the scholarship, you know, they give you these things. So, and like for me, when I moved from Fiji, I think I moved over in January and it was summer there. But like in Fiji, it's quite, you know, hot. And then I got there and their summer was like 21, 22. And I think I was wearing the biggest jacket ever and everyone's wearing vests and stuff. And I'm like, this is cold. Like, you know, like fresh off the boat. And I was just like, this is so cold. And like used to hate the morning trainings and stuff like that.
Hey, can you imagine Nico? You imagine Nico then when he came straight from Fiji to Glasgow?
Oh,
Lily,
babies.
Oh mate, I've never seen anything like it. He just couldn't work out what was going on. That's pretty amazing though, going at 16 and leaving, and you know, like these young guys moving over to. You think of some of them coming all the way over to France and things like that. Yeah, you know, it's that's a pretty cool journey, isn't it?
Nate, will you settle down in England after rugby?
Yes, you know, the missus from London, so we'll probably go to Surrey, and she's still got salons there and stuff like that. So I'll be trying to find a coaching job in one of the schools to try and put the kids in, and the rest after that. So
no back to play for the Ndrua then, finishing up there.
No, Fiji for me now is like, you know, a holiday destination, like to go see my family and stuff like that. But I think long term, I think is to live in London. And
Nate, you're off to Claremont this summer. New challenge for you. How excited are you about that?
Yeah, I'm very excited. You know, excited for the new challenge. So you know, looking forward to it. Not looking forward to learning the French, but you know, it'll be a long time before I can speak French. Like, you know, Fijian's quite intense anyway. So I'm looking forward to the new challenge. Looking forward to like new places and stuff like that. And you know, just every time I move to a different country, this always reminds me of that the first time when I moved from Fiji. You know, it's just like I'm throwing myself into the deep end. How am I going to get out? You know, when I first moved to New Zealand, I was just like, this is such a big place. Like, you know, nice cars going around, big buildings, so many people. Like when you're wearing tracksuit, you're just like, oh, are they looking at me funny and stuff like that? But like, you know, just go with it, really. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And
you've got your boys there as well, haven't you? I think Paseli Yato's there. Who else is there? Nakalevu as well? And
you got Yato, you got Penny Ravai, you got Raka.
Oh, he's good.
Yeah, there's quite a few boys there.
And did they help in your decision making?
Pardon?
Did they help in your decision making? Like, did you hit them up beforehand?
Yeah, I spoke to, you know, a couple of the boys, and then asking, you know, how the you know, the place was, and the rugby, you know, the rugby just speaks for itself. Clermont's, you know, always one place I always wanted to go play, because, you know, the atmosphere there, and, you know, just when you run out of the stadium, you watch it on TV, you just see blue and yellow, and it's, you know, for a away team to go play there, it's very intimidating. So, but no, it's, you know, it's a big club, and, you know, one of the biggest in France. So
let's take a quick pause, fellas, for our regular section every week. Nathan, it's Max's book club. Max reads a passage from a player's autobiography, and you and Ryan have to guess who wrote the book.
Right. Head coach of the England team demands management skills that Brian does not have. We had a head coach who wanted one thing, other coaches who wanted other things. The players hadn't a clue what was going on. Somehow we'd managed to turn our World Cup campaign into a Monty Python sketch called The Life of Brian. All our coaches disagreed with how we should be playing. It was embarrassing. We were like a pub team. You expected them to be singing from the same hymn sheet and supporting each other in everything they said to the players, but I don't think that was how it was, not from where I was sitting. It seemed to me the difficulty lay in Brian's personality and the issue of whether he is particularly comfortable in the role of overall boss. Had a stranger walked in on any training session before the World Cup, he would not have a clue who was in charge. After we lost 36-0 to South Africa, we had no choice as senior players but to call a crisis meeting with the whole squad. It was a tough meeting for Brian, something you realise when you heard Ollie Barkley, who had worked with Brian at Bath, say, look, Brian, no one's got a fucking clue how we're supposed to be playing here. If you ask the 15 players who played against South Africa to write down the game plan, you'd get 15 different answers. It was harsh, but it was true.
Who could have written that? Right.
Well, 36-0. What World Cup was that?
That's what, yeah. That was
the.
Did they lose 36-0?
Yeah, they lost 36-0 to South Africa. That was in the groups, wasn't it? And they played them in the final. Yeah, that's that year.
07, yeah.
Year. 07.
Right, okay.
So
we're working with 2007, and Ollie Barkley was in the team.
Mm-hmm.
So someone else in that team, again, gives you absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. 2007. So, right, just give us one clue, forward or back?
Forward.
Right, and he's a famous forward from 2007, Nath, that played in the World Cup. Say a name.
Fuck.
Let's go. No, I reckon Nate will have a decent recall of that.
Yeah, come on then.
Yeah, because I remember the 2007 World Cup. They played Fiji. South Africa played Fiji in the quarterfinals, and they should have lost. That game
was a good game.
That was a good game. Fiji should have just played with 13 players the whole game, because they scored 20 points in that half.
Villamoni.
That happened again. Didn't that happen again last year with against Wales? Remember
Wales, yeah,
and they were even better with 14 men.
Yeah,
they're good at doing that.
That game, it was insane.
So he's English, isn't he?
Yeah, he's English.
Yeah. He's very English.
Right, I'm going to come out there and go, is it Martin Johnson?
No, he retired after the 2003 World Cup.
I thought he retired in 2003.
He retired after 2003, but similar stature of player.
We'll cut that bit out, Ryan.
Yeah, cheers.
Lawrence Dallaglio.
What's that?
Was he not done by then?
Yes, Nathan. Good from you. He's nailed it.
Lovely.
Big low.
I thought he'd been done by then as well.
Yeah, I thought he was done after 2003.
Lowell went for that one as well. Wait, were you at Wasps with him? No.
Yeah, you know what's a funny story? It's like, you know, when I came from Fiji, and like, you know, when you watch England from the other side of the world, only person we knew from the England team was like Martin Johnson and Johnny Wilkinson, you know, because they were like quite big and stuff like that. And I think my first week coming into the Wasps setup, and they do like a, you know, welcome, or, you know, you coming into this team, you know, the past players that's been here, Lawrence Dallaglio, you know, Billy Vunipola and stuff. And I turned around and was like, Lawrence Dallaglio, who's that? And I was just like, oh shit. So they had to cut that bit out. And like, no disrespect, but like, I'm coming from Fiji. Like, I only know, if you're not from the Southern Hemisphere rugby, you know, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, I don't know anyone from this side. Like, you know, we only knew Johnny Wilkinson because of the famous drop goal and stuff like that. And like, when they mentioned that to me, I was just like, shit. And then I went home that day, Google Lawrence Dallaglio. I was like, fuck, he's a fucking legend of what? I was just like reading it. I was like, the man's fucking won Premiership Cup, like won Heineken Cup, like, oh shit. and then 2 weeks later he comes into like Wasps because he's like one of the big, you know, like thin Wasps, and I'm fucking there licking his feet, and I'm like, oh, how long? And I was just like, fucking hell, like shit.
What year did you go to Wasps then? What year was that?
2013.
Right.
I remember playing Max when he was playing at London Irish.
Oh mate, that's time ago, innit? Who was I? That was like Zach and stuff. I was scrimmaging against Zach. Yeah, wow. Big AJ was running around as well.
Yeah.
It was you, Ashley, and
Haskell.
who was? Oh, it was Haskell. Yeah, you guys were big. I remember
We called
that.
each other the Oreo back row.
Yeah, you were big boys.
Oh, those were the days, eh, Max?
Yeah,
Irish.
Those days were actually quite good because me and Ash just basically carried, never hit any ruck, and Hass had to hit every ruck. And then one time he went to Die, and he was like to Die, I want to fucking get my hands on this ball. Like, why am I cleaning 30, 40 rucks a game? And Die just turns around, you're the one that's putting yourself in that position.
Was he the best value in that squad, or were there some other good?
He was great to have in the squad. Like, you know, he'll go about doing his own work, and you know, he's off filthy and trying to be a DJ and stuff like that. I remember when he started trying to be a DJ at Wasps, and I was just like, fuck, these tunes are rank, like worst things ever. But like, to be fair, he's actually decent DJ now and stuff like that. But nah, he brought, you know, so much morale into the team. Like, he had the boys first and stuff like that. Like, we would go on a team social and he would be up the top, like, you know, like the young boys, he would buy like drinks for the young boys, take charge of everything. And, you know, and as a young player, seeing that, like, it was just like, oh shit, you know, we look up to those kind of players and stuff like that.
Let's move on to your England debut in 2016 against South Africa. What are your memories of that day?
Are we going to continue this and go when England played Scotland in Murrayfield when me and Ryan had like a little bit of...
Oh, you nearly killed me. You tried to strangle me, man.
No, I didn't. You're the one that was grabbing my fucking leg. Oh. And then the thing is, he gets my number and starts texting me, please, can you just plead that I didn't do it?
Press, nothing.
Genuine.
Oi, kere, press. I'm Fijian, really.
Because the thing is, England lost that day, and we lost badly as well. Like, Scotland was on fire that day, and I don't know. It's just, you guys just got into our heads. And
was that the day? Was that the day of the tunnel as well? That was the...
Yeah, that was the day of the tunnel as well.
Yeah, and then I got cited the next day for poking him in the eye, and I didn't even poke him in the eye. I just tried to get him off me. He was strangling me.
Ryan caused so many dramas that day. But, you know, I don't blame him. He won. They won, you know, so...
Hey, I was trying to find a Nick. Hey, Nix, do you know Nathan Hughes? Yeah, but he's my brother. Why? I said, I need to speak to him. And to be fair, I went into this hearing, and
you got offered, didn't it, to play against what?
Yeah, but they said, oh, we've had something from Nathan saying that you never went for his eye, but how does he know you never went for his eye? You know, there's that
from the texts.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you Google it now, Nathan and Ryan, I'm on top. So, you know, I take that one.
100%. I was trying to go for the armbar, and then you just I'm sorry.
Oh, fuck. Oh, that Six Nation campaign was, and then we went to France and got battered by France again. And I was like, oh, fuck, you know. I think in autumn where we had South Africa, our first game in Twickenham, you know, that was my debut game. And honestly, one of the most scariest things, you know, to go, you know, this first time playing in a big stadium. You know, that I think that was my first time playing in a big stadium, 82,000 people like screaming. And, you know, there's all like, I remember the first conversation we had with Eddie in the meeting was about South Africa. He brought up the Boer War, and he just showed us like videos of when Eddie was coaching South Africa, and like England went into South Africa or something like that, or the finals in 2007, where Bakkies Botha is basically slamming his head on the in the change room before they go out in that final, and like the thin's all dented, he's bleeding, and he's like, this is how much it means for South Africa to play against England. because like the Boer War, they just talk about that, and that was our meeting the first game, and I was just like, fucking hell, you know, I'm already nervous here, and you scared me even more. Like I'm only 24 here, and this is my first game playing. But now we went out there, and then you know we managed to beat them, and it was a great debut, and played 3 games in autumn, and then went on to the Six Nation, played the Six Nation there. We beat Scotland that year. We won the Six Nation that year, but then the year after that just fell apart. So
we've sort of heard that's perfect for us in terms of the soundbite. But we've heard some sort of weird tales about Eddie Jones. What was your relationship like with him?
It was good, you know. He's always had, like, you know, he knew how to approach people in, you know, in different people and stuff like that. So he's always, you know, I think he always, because every time I went into England camp, I always stripped down so much weight, and then when I go back to Wasps, Di would be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, if you come back so light again, you're fucked. You're not going back to England. The guy always loved a heavy pack. Like, you know, Max will even say, like, when he plays Wasps, it's always this big, heavy pack, like 1 to 8. So like, you know, every time I come, like, he's like, if you come back under 120, you're not going back to England camp. So after England camp, I always had to eat so much to get up to 125 to come in, and he always made me stand on the scale. And when I stood on the scale, it was just like, good.
You imagine that in any other workplace, right? Yeah. Right, like Di's the feeder, and then you got Eddie who's stripping you back. Like, mate, it's ridiculous, isn't it? But and then how good?
Yeah, how but good. It was actually like quite good to know where I stood, you know, in the Wasps team and in England team. And Eddie always called me the English breakfast tea, because like all Fijians love a tea and biscuit. So he called me the English breakfast tea. I don't know why. And I was just like, well, if you're gonna call me that, I don't eat biscuits at night. Pew. He's like, I know all you Fijians, you love the English breakfast tea. Dunk it in there, eat the biscuit.
I don't get the tea and bread, man. Like, Nax used to put butter on the bread and dip the bread
and then dunk it in.
And the tea had sugar in it. I was like, Nax, what are you doing? Oh, but this is good, bread and tea.
The worst when they dunk the bread and then they squeeze it to take
yeah. Strain it. And he's like this. And oh man, like,
you know how there's a lot of floaties and teas. Honestly, at the end of the cup of tea, you look in and you see all the crumbs.
And you see like the sugar at the bottom, because he used to, when he first got here, Bex would be like, "Nice, you taking any sugar?" "Oh yes, please, 6." She put 6 sugars in his tea. I was like, what? Oh. That butter, bread, all mixed into this thing. Oh, yeah. Mate, at the end of it, yeah. See, Nico told me that Eddie called you son.
Shut up. No. Billy was his son.
Is that not right? Nico said, hey, ask him if Eddie the boss call him son.
No. No way.
No, he's making that up.
It wasn't his son. It was Billy Woodapala. That was his son. But he had so many names for different people. Like, he would come one campaign, he'll call you this, and then come another campaign, he'll call you another thing, and then he'll turn around like, "Why the fuck are you fat now?" And I'm like, I'm in the best shape of my career. But
I made me do it.
Yeah. Max, tell them about that story when you started sweating on a night out.
Oh, bro. So basically, that was that day we came back from the final.
I know.
We came back from the final. So we went to Racks. Anyway, we're in Racks and it's absolute carnage. They are hating us. Carl Sinclair's throwing up an absolute storm. He's about 12 pints deep. Hasn't slept since the game.
No,
he's
because
kicking off.
You need to explain. You guys just only came back from France. You guys been drinking the whole night.
Yeah. So
they turn up, and I've got, like, because I didn't go on the game, so I.
No, me and you both didn't. So it's just me and you at the car park.
So much beers and like waited in the roundabout with the car park, and the boys turned up like thinking that they were going to go home, and I've stopped everyone. We started drinking there, gone now. And then Max, you can continue that story.
I'm trying to sit down on one of these bar stools, and I've had a few. Missed the seat. I'll hit the deck so hard. So I look down at my arm, and I've got this contusion underneath my forearm, like real bad. And I'm like, lads, I feel a bit weird here. So I get up, sit up, and I'm like sweating like profusely. I'm like, lads, I'm not feeling good. I think I need to go outside. So I'm trying to get to the exit. I'm on the way there, and I just black out, like fully black out. I'm on the floor, decked out.
Honestly, Max just goes,
bro.
Timber.
Yeah, boom. Lose my phone on the deck. This chick comes, like Jan Thomas's like family friend, tries to help me up. This old gal, great legend, helps me up. I'm completely discombobulated. I've got no idea where I am. I'm still feeling faint. I walk outside, Nate's sitting up there, and I'm like, Nate, I don't know what happened. I think someone spiked my drink. So I'm like going off on one. Someone spiked my drink, mate.
It's sweaty.
And I'm just sweated through my shirt.
The t-shirt is wet.
Yeah, and then I'm like looking for my phone for hours. Like hours. I'm pranging out, like fully pranging. Ed Holmes standing there. And he's like, and I've been saying this a million times to Ed. I'm like, bro, Ed, have you seen my phone? Have you seen my phone? I'm like,
he called it in as well.
Ed goes into his goes, yeah, I picked this phone up. Don't know whose it is. And I'm like, mate.
2 hours Max is looking for his phone.
2 hours later.
Mate, I know that was definitely from slamming my arm, and I've just
maybe you did get spiked. Maybe you did get your drink.
It was nuts, bro. Oh, that was fucked.
Thanks to Nathan for giving us a wonderful insight into your career so far. Good luck with the move to Claremont, and hopefully as well turning out for Fiji at the next World Cup. As always, huge thank you to Ryan, and a huge thank you to Max as well, and to you all for listening and watching, and we'll see you all next week.